And we are live. What is going on YouTube? It's me, Andrew here. Welcome to this video. Well, today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my 5 tips to effective self-learning and to teaching yourself a skill, from the comfort of your own home. So the first tip I have for you guys is to find the correct resources that work for you, right? You have to find the resources that work and fit your learning style. Now, where would you find these resources? The first place I would suggest you look when you're trying to teach yourself a skill is your local public library. They have books, they have audiobooks, they have resources online that you can use. But once you have these resources in your hand, you have to filter through them and find out what works for your learning style. If you're the type of person that likes reading books, you might figure out that ebooks and actual physical copy of books might work well for you. For me, I'm an audiovisual learner, meaning that I have to see or hear and be able to replicate. So I listen to audiobooks and I watch video tutorials. You rarely catch me reading a book on a subject unless I'm looking for specific information. So tip number 1 is to find the correct resources that work for you. Tip number 2 I have for you guys, after you found the correct resources that work for you, is to chunk it and crush it. No one expects you to sit down for 20 hours straight to get through material and in order to pick up a skill. Let's say something is going to take you 20 hours to do, or a course is going to take you 20 hours to get through. What you want to do is that you want to take that material and split it up and chunk it into pieces, so it's more manageable, and so that way you will be actually willing to spend the time actually on the craft and learning the skill. So you want to, let's say you have 20 hours of instruction, you want to break it down into 2 hours for 10 days or an hour each day for 20 days. So instead of trying to be Superman and trying to take on too much, which sometimes I do myself, is just take baby steps and take it in piece by piece. That way you actually have time to absorb the information and practice as you go along. The next tip I have for you guys is to learn on demand. By learning on demand, I mean learn as the skills that you want to learn are being called of you. For example, I had to learn for the last project I was working on. I had to learn how to do location audio by having live mics and stuff like that. So I took a course on Lynda, and I learned how to hide live microphones, how to use different types of microphones to get what I want and the results that I want. So I took that material, I took the course, and I practiced it on the job that I had to do the very week. So I took that course on how to hide live microphones and how to do proper field audio, and I just immediately I went into a job where that was required of me and that was demanded of me. So to learn on demand, when you learn on demand, it helps you stay motivated because you're learning useful information which you're going to put into practice right away. So that's tip number 3 I have for you guys, to learn on demand. And you guys heard me say practice, 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 practice. Practice is not underrated, it's not overrated. Practice is something that you have to do because, if you don't practice, there's no way you're going to reinforce that you've learned the skill. No one's going to give you an exam when you're self-learning to say that, hey, prove to me that you have this skill down packed. You're going to have to take the initiative and actually practice and put what you've learned into use to reinforce it. So practice, practice, practice. Use deliberate practice to make sure that you've reinforced what you've learned. And then the last step I have for you guys is to find mentors. Now, this might go counterintuitive against self-learning to find mentors because you want to learn on your own, but to find people that are in the field that you want to get into or that have the skill that you want to learn, and ask them for tips and tricks as to how they've gone ahead in their career and how they have learned to get ahead, right? So that's one thing I can give you guys to say, that find the people that you look up to that are experts in what you're trying to learn, and ask them for advice, ask them for tips and tricks, because something that might take them 20 years to learn, if you ask them and you're humble enough just to ask somebody a question, say, hey, how did you deal with this situation or deal with that situation, they can give you game and give you advice that that took them 20 years to learn, but it will take you're learning in the very beginning of your career. So yeah, those are the 5 tips I have for you guys. To recap, the first one is to find the correct resources that work for you, to chunk it and crush it, to learn on demand, and to use deliberate practice and find mentors in the field that you're hopefully wanting to get into. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope it helped, and I hope that these tips are useful to you. Basically, I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, so be sure to hit the subscribe button, like this video, comment if you have any questions, and I'll be sure to answer them in the comment section down below. Anyways guys, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.